Alright, now we got the the series of Mage Hero Power cards. Spirit of the Dragonhawk. 2 mana, 0/3. Stealth for 1 turn. Your hero power also targets adjacent minions. Okay. So this is a strong card. Um, I wouldn't be super excited about it if we didn't already see all the other Mage Hero Power cards. But since we have, this is a very good card. So your hero power targeting adjacent minions. So basically, if you play this guy and then you use your hero power, you can deal 1 damage across the board. So it's basically a shooting star, which is a 1 mana card, and you get a 0/3, which is about 1 mana worth of stats. But you also get to use the spirit's ability next turn. So on its own, it's kind of weak. I mean, it's really good against Odd Paladin because if you have this on the board for a while, you can just constantly be actively pinging all of his guys down when he tries to spam the board. So that's really strong. But where this guy, I'm gonna skip Genelai the Dragonhawk for a sec. Where this guy really shines is when you throw in cards like Daring Fire Eater. Your next hero power this turn deals 2 more damage. So what you can do is you play Daring Fire Eater, and then you play Spirit of the Dragonhawk. So that's 3 mana, and then you deal 3 damage to the middle guy, and then you deal 3 damage to the enemy minions on the outside. So how good is that? It's good. I mean, it's kind of just a worse arcane anomaly. It's a worse arcane anomaly because we already have the arcane anomaly shooting star combo where you play arcane anomaly, shooting star, you deal 3 damage to 3 guys, and then you have a 4/3 on board. With this, it's just a 1/1 and a 0/3 afterwards, and sure you have the continuous. Your hero power will continue to target adjacent stuff with the spirit, but you'd rather have Arcane Anomaly because that's +2 spell damage and a 4/3. I mean, so in a vacuum, these cards are they're good. They're all right. But when you throw in Pyromaniac, which is you'll draw a card for every guy you kill with your hero power, and then you have this card, Genelai the Dragonhawk, 7 mana, 4/4. If your hero power dealt 8 damage this game, summon Ragnaros the Fire Lord. For those of you who don't remember, who am I kidding? How can you forget Rag? The 8 mana, 8/8 legendary, which he deals 8 damage to a random enemy at the end of every turn. So good he got Hall of Famed. R.I.P. Rest in Pepperoni. So is this card good? Hell yeah. If you're playing a hero power deck. Reg was a crazy good 8-drop. So getting him 1 turn early, yeah, pretty good. Really good. Really, really good. The games that you play Genelai and Rag on turn 7, you're probably gonna win. Unless you're at 5 health and dying next turn. But if the game is at all somewhat even, and you play Genelai and get Rag, yeah, it's pretty over. And even if they remove Rag, you still have the 4/4 left. So, how good is this package? We're really not looking at the individual cards. We're looking at how good this package is altogether. And it seems pretty good, man. I don't know. Is it better than I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like the next Mage deck. Mage is just so good at like killing your opponent that like this whole like hero power thing, it's good, but yeah, so Jan'alai is only going to be good if this deck is good. Spirit of the Dragonhawk, is it good on its own? I don't know. It's okay. In a really tokeny meta, it's good on its own. Like like when Odd Paladin is really popular, this is a really good card because you can just ping off their guys every turn. You can just really stop the aggression. They don't have a whole lot to kill Dragonhawk with in the early game if you're like pinging off all their 1/1s. So it's pretty solid in that kind of meta. But against like any deck that isn't Odd Paladin, it's really bad. I think. It's not like really bad, but it's bad. Daring Fire Eater, I actually think is pretty good on his own in Big Mage. Because I know I'm jumping around a lot, but these guys are just also interconnected. I'm thinking of things to say about all of them. So Daring Fire Eater, one of Big Mage's biggest problems is they can't use like Frostbolt. They can't use Fireball. I mean, I guess they can use Fireball, but they can't use Frostbolt. That's the big thing. So they don't have a lot of early game removal. So any kind of like early game removal that they can get their hands on is really strong. Daring Fire Eater is a 3-mana Frostbolt something, and you get a 1/1. That's basically what it does. And that's really strong. That is really what Big Mage is looking for, is like ways to kind of cheat out cheap spells so they don't mess up their Dragon's Fury synergy. They want like cheap spells. Well, they can't play cheap spells, but they want cheap removal. Daring Fire Eater is that, and you get a 1/1. Really solid card. I think this card is actually like and also if Odd Mage is a thing, your hero power will deal 4 damage. So if Odd Mage is good, Daring Fire Eater is good. If Big Mage is good, Daring Fire Eater is definitely going to make Big Mage. And if this hero power mage is good, Daring Fire Eater is there, and he's really good with Spirit of the Dragonhawk. So I think Daring Fire Eater is the most exciting of these 3 cards. I mean, obviously this is the most exciting. Yeah, Jan'alai is only going to be good, though, in like this hero power center deck. Now, in that hero power center deck, Jan'alai's condition is not very hard to meet. Because if you're playing Spirit of the Dragonhawk, and then you play, like if you do the combo I was talking about earlier with like Daring Fire Eater, Spirit of the Dragonhawk, then you deal 3 damage to 3 guys, that's the condition right there. Because you deal 3 damage to the middle guy, 3 damage to the guy on the left, 3 to the guy on the right. That's 9 damage. Got your rag. Turn 7. Lined up. So not a hard condition at all to me, I don't think. It's just a matter of how good that deck is. So really cool stuff. Alright. Now let's move on to High Priestess Jeklik. 4 mana, 3/4, Taunt Lifesteal. When you discard this, add 2 copies of it to your hand. Okay. So, on its own, with the cards we currently have, this card sucks. It's cool, but it sucks. So, currently, the like discard mechanics that we have for Warlock are very like zoo themed. It's like, okay, I'm giving up value to get like early game swings or like cheap swings or something. Like look at oh, I don't know. Like Doomguard, you discard 2 cards, but you get a premium 5/7 with charge. You get like Soulfire, 4 damage for 1 mana, but you lose a card. High Priestess Jeklik is not that. It's like oh, you discard a card, you get 2 more of this guy. Yeah, but who cares? Like you're playing a discard deck because you want this tempo. You want to get this tempo, and your hero power. You're just constantly tapping your hero power to get enough like premium minions to just kill your opponent. So you don't really care about getting like a 4-mana 3/4 with Taunt Lifesteal. I mean that's all right for like a slower deck, I guess. It's okay. It's not even good, but it's okay. But like in like a traditional discard lock deck, I mean this card sucks. You wouldn't want to play this ever. Like why would you want a card that when you sometimes discard it, you're gonna get 2 more of it? Like why do you want to draw 2 more bad cards? Like if it read when you discard this, get 2 Doom Guards in your hand, you'd be like, hell yeah, I want to discard this. But this card sucks on its own, so why would you want to draw more of it? Now, I've been looking at some of the other Warlock cards, and I'm noticing they're pushing like a control discard lock. Like Soulwarden is a 6-mana 6/6. Add 3 random cards you discard this game to your hand. And this card has the same problem. Like if you're playing a discard deck, you don't care if you're drawing 3 cards on turn 6, because they're just gonna go to your you're just trying to kill your opponent at that point. And if you're not killing them, you've already lost probably. So it's not good. And I know how this game works. Okay, if you have this guy in your hand on turn 1, you're discarding him before turn 6, so it doesn't matter. I know you're looking at it like, oh my god, you get all your discards back. No. I know how this fucking game works. And you're going to discard this guy from like your first discard. Because he's 6 mana, he's going to be in your hand for a while. You're never going to get him off. And this card does not incentivize you to play discard because it sucks. So, I'm not buying it. Now I'm gonna keep these guys up because we're still looking at the Warlock discard stuff. I feel like Blizzard is like, okay, so I know what you guys are thinking. You don't aggro discard lock is the way to go with discard, but actually we're gonna push a control discard. Shriek, discard your lowest cost card. Deal 2 damage to all minions. So this is a step in the right direction. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Blizzard. It's a step in the right direction. Discard your lowest cost card. So it's not a random card. So you get to kind of decide what you're discarding. And I like that. You know, I hate the discard mechanic where it's just discard a random card. It's just random, it's stupid, there's very little skill. There's very little like strategy, I should say. Skill's a bad word. Strategy. There's not a lot of thought. It's just like you kind of, spin the wheel and hope you discard your silverware golem. Like that's how it was in the past. With Shriek, it's kind of like you usually know what you're going to discard. Might be like a toss up between like 2 1-drops, but it doesn't really matter. So is it worth it for 1 mana to discard? Discard a card to deal 2 to all minions? Probably. I don't know, because you can just. I mean, sure, it's 1 mana, but you could just Hellfire for, I know it's 3 more mana to Hellfire, but you're gonna get an extra damage to everything. And you're also not spending 2 cards on Hellfire. Like you gotta remember, this is technically a card, just 1 card, but it's a 2-card combo. You're giving up a resource, and chances are, if you're playing this card, you're kind of playing like more of a control-y value deck. So you're not gonna be playing a whole lot of like small guys, just small cheap throwaway minions. So why would you want to give up one of your resources? Like, that's, I don't know. This doesn't, it feels weird. And then this guy, Reckless Diretroll, and he's a 2/6 for 3 mana taunt. Battlecry, again, discard your lowest cost card. I mean, it's, like I said, it's a step in the right direction. I like that it's discard your lowest cost card. It gives you a little more, like, control over what you're giving up. But I still don't think it's there. This guy specifically, not so much Shriek, but Reckless Diretroll. He might make zoo lists just because a 3 mana 2/6 lose a card. Usually don't care about losing a card, and a 2/6 on 3 is really, really strong. He might be good enough just to run, honestly. In fact, I'm pretty sure he is. Zoo is just so refined that, you know, who knows what's actually going to make it. But this guy's really good in 3 mana and like a tempo deck. He's really, really strong, I think. I remember when they came out with that 3/8 taunt for 4. That didn't see any zoo play, but I was like, this is really good. This might see play. But that's discarding 2 cards, and it's 4 mana. This is 3 mana 2/6. Like that. That's a lot of health on 3 mana, especially in Heal Lock. That you can trade this in a bunch and keep healing it up. I think this is pretty good on its own. As far as this whole like Discardlock, I don't know. I'm not buying Shriek. I'm not buying Soulwarden. I'm definitely not buying this. Yeah, and to be fair, these all support the quest. Like, these all support Lakari Sacrifice. That's like a control discard deck. And it is worth noting that if you play Cataclysm with High Priestess in hand, you're going to lose it, and then you won't have an empty hand over. You won't have an empty hand after Cataclysm, because you'll have your High Priestesses. That's pretty cool. But I still don't think it's enough to make it a deck. I'm not buying it. I'm acidic. I'm just not buying it, Blizz. Sorry. What the? Why can't I click that? We have one more card. Smolderthorn Lancer. 3 mana, 3/2 warrior card. It's cool to see some warrior cards. We haven't seen a whole lot. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, destroy a damaged enemy minion. So it's execute attached to a 3/2 if you have the dragon. I really like this card. Do I like this card? It's good. It's really strong. But you don't play this turn 3. It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of Vile Spine Slayer, except it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit harder of a condition to meet. It's definitely harder because you need the dragon, and you need it to be damaged. So, I mean, if you play Warpath, so you can just kind of Warpath a couple times, like late game, and then play this guy. If you're playing with some kind of like Dragon Control Warrior, which I've seen some of the other cards that they released like yesterday and today, and because today's Wednesday, so I'm looking at these. There's more new cards after this, but I can't do them all in one video because I don't want a 2-hour YouTube video. But so I think Smolderthorn Lancer is a good card if this Dragon Warrior actually works out. We got to see a few more good dragons before I'm sold. I've seen some really amazing neutral and warrior dragon cards come out, like dragon reliant cards, I should say. But I haven't seen any good dragons. So yeah, like Smolderthorn's good, but it's not worth like putting in, you know, Ysera, 2 Primordial Drakes, and 2 whatever other dragons you want to put in, like Sleepy Dragons, or I don't even, like, there aren't enough good dragons to like make this to there's not enough good dragons to like water down your deck to have a bunch of dragons, I don't think, because the dragons just aren't good enough. But I honestly hope that dragon cards are good, because I really like them. Dragons are so cool. I can totally sympathize with Brian Kibler on dragons, because I just think dragons are so cool. One of my first legendary was Ysera, and that's like my favorite legendary ever, because it was like, it's just like dragons just have this feel about them that, like, you know, you play this big epic, you know, powerful single card that's just gonna like make your opponent go, oh shit. Like, I love that. I love that feel. I always like dragons to be like powerful, and it looks like they're really pushing the warrior dragon package, which is cool. I just hope they push it enough. So yeah, that is all I'm gonna do for today. I will be reviewing the rest of the cards. We got a bunch revealed on yesterday, and some more today. I don't know if it has an update or something. I know there's more cards. Yeah. So we got some from yesterday and some from today. So I'll be going through those. I'll upload my reviews in the next couple days, but really exciting stuff. Really looking forward to seeing what they're doing with Dragon Warrior. The Discardlock, I don't know, man. It's cool. It's cool if it works, if there's some kind of like control discard deck, but I generally don't like the really RNG Discardlock, and I don't know. But we'll see. But you know, they got this big spell paladin. You know, who knows how good that'll be. Hero Power Mage looks pretty promising. You know, I like the idea. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment. You know, the whole shebang. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.